Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we will be doing the drafting portions of this one. In the last video that I created, or a video before this one, I already did the isometric. So when I start this video here in AutoCAD and we start doing the drafting portion of it, you're going to see that the isometric is already done, and you can refer back to that video, and I'll try to link it at the end of this video if you want to go back and watch that to see how I done the isometric. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch over to AutoCAD and get started. Okay, so this is the isometric that we did create in that video that I was just talking about. I'll try to remember to link up here at the top left of the screen here a card to refer you back to that video if you are interested in seeing me create this. But before I get started on my drafting portion, I did leave out a line on this one. So what I'm going to do is just simply do a copy of this line here. And then I'm going to use this endpoint and then go to that endpoint. Okay, and from here I should be able to trim off the portions that I don't need to see. So I'm just going to trim in between here and likewise here. Alright, so that will complete the total drawing of the isometric. Now we can go ahead and get started on working on the 2D drafting of this. So I'm just going to start working on that up here above it. Start off with the line command, and we can go through our normal housekeeping stuff. You can see already I have the grid turned off. I do have my ortho mode set. Here are going to be my running O-snaps that I'm going to be using for this video. And I'm just going to start off with the line here. And I'm going to create this just like how we did with the isometric. So I'll go ahead and create a square here, or rectangle actually. So I'm going to draw 90 going this direction. We're going to go up a height of 50. I'm going to come back to the left here 90. And then I'll just go see the close, right? Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the fillet that's located on this front part here. So I'll go to fillet, radius. Remember that the radius on this one is 25. And then I have multiple. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock out the fillet here and here, and likewise here on the other side. Let's go ahead and escape out of this, and now we'll go and use the circle command. So I'm just going to type in C. So C, enter, will bring up the circle. Let's go and find the center that's located here. I'm just going to type D, enter, that stands for diameter, and then I'll type in 20. Let's work on the back half of this. I'm going to start off by using a line that goes right from this midpoint to the left, a distance of 40. Then I'll go to the offset command. The shortcut for offset is just O, enter. Type in the number 15. Enter, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and offset this line, one to the top, one to the bottom. Oh, look like I escaped out of the command too quickly, and we have the one to the bottom. Let's draw a line going from this endpoint, going straight up here. Use the trim command, and you can see that I'm using the shortcuts in this video, so I'm just typing in TR for trim. So I'm just going to trim off these portions right along here. Now I do have some hidden surfaces on this one, but I will save it for when I create the top view here next. So from here, I'm just going to use a construction line. Shortcut for a construction line is just XL, vertical, and then I'm just going to run right through these points here. And you can see that some of those hidden surfaces will show here on the top one that I didn't do here on the bottom one yet, on the front view I should say. So I'm just going to draw a line going straight across here. Let's use the offset command again, give it a distance of 40. And then we'll start trimming off these extra lines. So I'm just going to trim around here. And now I usually like to use the extended trim, the EX trim, And it's mainly because of this reason. You see all these extra lines here at the bottom, but I'll just go ahead and select them and delete them here. And now I can work here along the top. Okay, let's first start off by drawing a line from this midpoint here, going this direction, a distance of 40. Then we're going to go to the offset command, so just O enter. Give it a distance of 10. And let's offset this line one time to the top here, and then one time to the bottom. We can go ahead and erase this middle line here, and then just draw a line from this endpoint to this endpoint. Okay, so the lines that you see running through here are going to be our hidden lines, right? So we know that is what's going on, and we also have a hidden surface here. All right, let's go ahead and trim off these lines in between. So I'm just going to go to the trim command. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of this right here in the middle. Then on the front half of this, let's go ahead and use the fillet command, radius. Number that we're going to use in this case, or the radius I should say, is going to be 10. We do have more than one, so I'm just going to use M enter. That's going to be for the multiple option. And then we'll go ahead and complete our fillets around here. And let's go ahead and draw a circle in the middle of this one. So I'm just going to use C, enter, go find the center, click here, D, enter, and then the diameter is going to be 20. All right, so all of these lines here are going to be hidden lines. I'm just going to go ahead and take care of that right now. Let's go ahead and put my hidden lines in here. And then from here, I can go ahead and use this construction line and create my hidden lines down here. So let's go ahead and show you that real quick. So XL enter, V enter for vertical. Let's go ahead and place them here and here. And then we have a hidden surface that's running through here. All right. So now some of these lines are going to start kind of overlapping and things of that nature, and we'll take care of that here in a second. Let's go ahead and use the trim command. And then I'm just going to cut right through here, right along the bottom here, and then right through the middle here. Okay? Let's escape out of that, and then we're going to delete these lines here at the top. We shouldn't have any at the bottom. All right, so here are our two views. You can see all of our hidden lines kind of clearly here, but let's go ahead and create that layer already. So we're going to go to the layer command here, and since I'm here, I'll go ahead and create a couple of more. So let's go to layer. Let's do the first one here. It's going to be a hidden layer. Then let's create another one. We know we're going to need a center layer, and we're going to also need a dimension layer. And let's go ahead and make one for the title block as well, since we're just creating all of these layers. I'll go ahead and start adjusting my line types already. So underneath my center line type, let's go ahead and load the center. And the one that I like to use is the center 2. And hit OK on that, and then select center 2, hit OK. Underneath the dimension, that's going to be a continuous. Underneath the hidden one, go ahead and select the continuous next to that. Go to load, scroll down to hidden 2. OK to that. Select it here, and then hit OK. And then the other one should be fine. I'm trying to think, is there any other layers that we need? I think we're good on that. Let's go ahead and make these center lines. Let's make them cyan. That seems to show up fine. Dimensions, I'm thinking a red color maybe. Yeah, let's make our dimensions red. For the hidden lines, let's use a color we don't use too much. Let's make it yellow. And then for our title block, let's go ahead and make that, I'm thinking magenta. Yes. Okay. So there are all my colors and layers that I would need. And if I needed any more, we might come back and create a couple of more. But that should be fine for what we need. So I'm just going to go right across here and select these. And do the same here on the bottom. I'm just going to go right across and select these. And this one here. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the hidden layer. Now you can't see the gaps or anything of that nature. Remember, we have to figure out what the scale factor is first. Next, let's go ahead and start creating this right side view here. All right. Let's go ahead and start with well, we can do this one with a rectangle. So I'm just going to use a rectangle. Just going to touch here, and then I'm going to track off it this way. That looks about far enough. Do a left click here. And if I follow what my dimensions are, I should be going 50 in the Y direction and 40 in the X direction. So therefore, I'm going to type in 40, 50, enter. All right. Now I know we have some hidden lines going through here. Let's go ahead and take care of those first. So let's draw a line. And if this time I'm going to be a little bit more accurate. So I'm just going to touch here. And then wherever it intersects, I'll do a left click here and come straight across here. The good thing for us is that this is a symmetric object. So I can just go ahead and mirror this to the other side, right? Now some other things that I do have going on here. Let's go ahead and mirror this while I'm telling you that. Is that we have, or we know kind of what's happening here in the middle. We also know that there are some hidden surfaces that are running right down here in the back, and we do have some holes running down the middle of it, right? So we know that this is the 40 going across, and if you refer to the beginning of the video or the distance between that distance is actually 20. So I'm just going to draw a line, and I'm going to intentionally make this one a little longer here. So I'm just going to start up here and come straight down. I'm going to go use the offset command, type in the number of 10, and we're just going to send that going across here and across here. Let's go ahead and delete this line here. Now the reason I left these at 10 or longer than I needed to, just so I didn't confuse myself, so when I select these two, I can go ahead and put them on the hidden layer, right? Now we also have a circle, or the holes that we see running through here, and these ones that are running up here are already taken care of. So we're just going to use the construction line again. This time we'll use horizontal. We'll go from, and we're going to use this quadrant and that quadrant. All right, I'll use EX trim this time, just because I have this nice rectangle that's already together for me. So I can select here and then click to the outside, and it should take care of it on both sides. All right, now this is where you can kind of confuse yourself. Let's go ahead and trim this part right out in the middle to alleviate any more confusion. And that should be what we need to see. Let's go ahead and use match properties. We're going to select the yellow one first, and then select everything that wants to look like it, right? So we're going to select all of those lines there, and you should be left with this. Okay, so at this point, the 2D drafting part of it is over, right? We've created that. We do have an isometric representation of it that we created down here, so I'll just go ahead and move this into position. Remember, I will have to turn my ortho off. Go ahead and pick a base point, and I'm just going to kind of move this somewhere along in here. Okay, so there's our drawing that we needed to complete. Now this is the next part of it, which is the dimensioning. Usually it takes you about the longest part, but this one should be really simple and straightforward for us, right? So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and create a title block for this. So that being said, I'm going to start off by creating a rectangle. Let's decide what size paper we want to use on this, and I'm thinking a B size, so I'm going to type in 17,11. And the lower left corner should be at 0,0. I actually did that backwards. Okay. Oh, looks like my rectangle actually didn't show up. Let's try that one more time. So rectangle, lower left corner which should be at 0,0, enter. Right corner should be at 17,11. There we go. Let's go ahead and offset a distance of 0.25. Okay. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put that on the correct layer. So I'll select it here, select the title block layer. And what I'm going to do next, I think I'm just going to go ahead and erase this outside one here. All right, so I'm going to select the outside rectangle there. Let's go ahead and delete that. Then we'll go to create. Let's call it title block. The lower left corner will be at 0, 0. I'll go to select objects here, select this rectangle, and everything else at this point should be fine. Let's hit OK on this. And now we get to kind of play around and figure out what the scale factor is, right? So I'm going to select my title block, do a right click, go to properties. And let's go with let's see what 10 looks like, and kind of a good gauge. And you can see that 10 is close. I'll next go to 16. And I'm thinking 16 should be the winner. Let's go ahead and move all of this stuff to the inside. Now remember, with your isometric, you can always scale that down. But for right now, all of my views fit in here on the 16, which is fine. So now we have to determine which method that we're going to use. Are we going to be using the standard method, or are we going to be taking a look at this using the annotation or even paper space? And in this case, I think I'll go ahead and use the annotation. So I'm just going to select here. I'll go to the 16. Let's give a regen. So I'm just going to type in RE, hit enter. And now you see those hidden lines will appear. Next, let's go ahead and shrink our isometric view down here. So I'll just go ahead and use the scale. Scale this down. I always like to start off with a 0.75, which should be a good scale to bring this down a little bit. Okay, so that looks great now. Let's go ahead and do the center lines. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the center layer command. Go ahead and set that to sin. And then I'll go ahead and adjust the center EXE. Let's give it an extension of, let's go with 3 today. Let's jump over to the annotation scale. Let's use the center marks. And let's see, we should have some center lines running through here as well. So let's go use the center line. I'll click here and here. Just going to hit the enter button and come back. Use it here and here. Enter one more time here and go here to here. All right. And there's also another center line that goes right down the middle of here. I can go ahead and choose to place that one. And that one should automatically be the extension or the length that it needs to be. For these other ones, we're going to have to adjust them, right? We're going to select, go to the square, put it here, and then grab the square here and place it at the top. I'm going to go to this square here, select this square here, place it at the top. Select this square here, and then place it here. Okay, and I think that covers all of our center marks. Last thing we need to do is go ahead and set up our dimension style. So we're using the annotation scale. So I'm just going to type in D, enter. That should bring me open to this dialog box. I'm going to go ahead and select the annotation one. I'm going to select set current. Let's go to modify. And then we'll do our normal stuff. You know, I always start here at the primary units. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to suppress those trailing zeros. Underneath the fit, we don't have to worry about adjusting this. Underneath the text, let's make this one a little bit smaller. So I'll make it 0.125. Symbols and arrows, select none. And then underneath the lines here, we're going to tell it that we're going to use 0.125 on the extension. Go ahead and hit the OK button and then close. Underneath my dimension style up here, I'm going to tell it that I want to use or set my dimensions to be on that layer. Alright, so from this point we should be able to start placing our dimensions. So let's start with this view first. Let's go with a linear dimension from here to that edge. Just going to hit the enter button and go from here to this center. And all I'm going to do is just keep hitting enter. And now remember that just in case if this is going to be short, I want it to be to the outside. So I'm going to select the inside first and then here. And then it should kick your dimension to the outside. Let's start off on this one. Let's go at the very bottom and go find the center, which is located here. Let's go ahead and put our radial dimensions on here. The shortcut for radius dimension is DRA. I'm just going to select here. And then for diameter, DDI. Okay. Let's go ahead and start working on this one. So, DLI. Give myself a little room there because it looks like I might run out of space there at the top, but that should work. And you can see just putting these dimensions on do get a little bit simpler. And we do have that one more kind of problem that's going to happen here at the top. I want that dimension to kick out along the top. So when I hit enter, select this inside first and then the outside. And then we're going to scroll in and place it here. Now in this case, I could either move that dimension back, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this dimension. And then I'm going to come to the grip. And then here, I'm just going to tell it to move with leader. And then that should allow me to place it on the other side. Okay. That's going to be one of your kind of quick options there. Let's go ahead and do our radius again. So DRA, select here, place here. DDI, we'll select here and then place it here. Okay, lastly, what I need to do here is go ahead and put a couple of dimensions. So just a linear dimension from that endpoint to here. And also from this point, endpoint to here. Now we can select both of these. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then I will use my property window here. I will scroll till I see text. Then underneath the text overwrite, I'll start with the open parentheses, less than, greater than, close parentheses, hit enter. And like magic, both of those should automatically adjust. All right, and it looks like we are complete with it. I don't see anything that I'm missing out of the ordinary. If you do see something, please leave it down there in the comment, or maybe it's something that I did miss. I'm kind of giving it one quick look over before I end this video. But I think we got everything accomplished on this one. Now, I will come out with a video later where I'm doing this using 3D AutoCAD if you're interested in seeing that. But this is the 2D portion, and I do see something that I did forget. It's going to be this line here. All right, and I know that's one of those things when I'm kind of looking at it over and it stuck out to me like a sore thumb, but there you go. I think I am completed with it now, so I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and keep coming back to these videos. And if there's something you would like to see me do, please let me know. And as always, keep drafting. Thank you.